Are you ready?
Welcome back to Are You Ready? This wrestling podcast here on Newport City Radio. In our previous podcast, we dissected night one of Wrestlemania 40, Wrestlemania Saturday. And now, if you're still with us after listening to that 2-hour epic, we're with you for another 2 hours to talk about Wrestlemania Sunday.
And this is just going straight off from Wrestlemania Sunday.
Yeah.
Some of us haven't had much sleep, so it's going to be an interesting one.
I don't think any of us have had much sleep sat here in this.
All three of us are all in the same boat.
Yeah. But as night one kicked off with the countdown to WrestleMania, night two kicked off in the same fashion with the 2-hour kickoff show started at 10 p.m. UK time on WWE's YouTube channel and social media channels. Again, that consisted of Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Big E, and CM Punk.
Correct. You forgot then who your number one fan.
No, I did know Punk was on there. I did know Punk was on there.
He just forgot his name.
Yeah, of course I did. But for night two, it just seemed that little bit more anticipation around the night compared to night one. For me anyway, and watching that kickoff, just seemed there was a lot more hype and a lot more surrounding night two than night one.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they definitely were more enthusiastic on night two than they was night one. The fans were more hyped up, I feel, than night one. But yeah. What's your thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, night two delivered from the start right to the finish.
Yes, we'll talk through the match card. Halfway through, we did have a change in talking heads around the table. I think Big E stayed for the whole thing. Obviously, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee had to go and get ready for commentary along with CM Punk.
Yes.
It was Wade Barrett.
JBL joined them.
JBL and what was the
Jackie Redmond.
Yeah.
Jackie Redmond, and they had one of the Special Olympic winners.
Yeah,
I forgot the
Cody.
Yeah, which I thought
they've always had a great relationship with Special Olympics and
that
showcasing.
brought a lush element that it wasn't just WWE. It was WWE Universe.
Yeah, it was WWE community as well. They showcased the community as well, and they obviously brought in the Cody man who's obviously Special Olympics and stuff. I believe it's skiing, is it? I believe he was
something like that, yeah.
I think it was skiing, I believe. But it was a nice touch.
Yeah.
It was a very big, nice touch. Very heartwarming and stuff.
But night two, as we got into the premium live event itself, night two kicked off in the same fashion as night one. But rather than Triple H coming down again to welcome the crowd to WrestleMania,
It was
first surprise of the night, his wife, Stephanie McMahon.
Yes. That sent shivers down my spine.
It's the first time we've seen, I think the last time we've seen her was the same night as Vince originally retired back in, was it September? Oh, no, it was August, of 2022 when he stepped down and retired. I'm saying in air quotes because obviously he forced his way back onto the WWE board.
For a bit, and then they seen common sense and got rid of him.
Yeah.
But to see Stephanie, and not in a arrogant, cocky, spoilt, bratish
authority persona, yeah,
but it felt that we seen Steph as Steph.
Yeah.
And I seen, once she came out, she done her chat.
Yeah.
And finished, got the crowd going. She went backstage and I seen the picture of Paul Levesque and Steph. That was the first moment.
Hug.
Yeah. That was the first cry moment for me.
For night two.
Yeah.
The power couple of WWE.
The Authority 2.0. Attitude 2.0.
We're going back to it again, ladies and gentlemen.
It is, no, that was a special moment. And I think it was, I'll never know, but I think it was an extra special moment from Steph to Paul to be like, I got your back. And to us that just set the night for me. You knew that night was going to be incredible.
We seen her on Friday at the Hall of Fame, sat next to Triple H
With ECW hats.
Yes, which is a callback, I believe, to obviously when WWE bought ECW and that kind of era. And yeah, Fightful Select reported, Sean Rossap reported that in the internal rundown sheet for WrestleMania, it was scheduled to be Triple H. It said Triple H promo internally. Obviously, that was changed to Stephanie, whether that was the plan all along. Can I get your thoughts on Stephanie's new, I say new theme, it's an old theme, but with a bit more of a guitar and rock aspect to it?
It was not bad.
What do you mean not
bad?
It was alright.
Oh, my days.
It's not bad, it's okay.
It's not horrendous, but it's not great.
Oh, no.
We'll come on to some horrendous new themes after.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. I think it's just because, like, growing up, seeing her in the Authority and everything, and knowing the history, like, what's gone on with Vince McMahon and everything, and to see her be like, no, actually, I'm supporting my husband, that's the wow I got, and why I'm like, no.
She does have good rapport backstage with the wrestlers.
Yeah. Look at Bailey's review in the press conference of Steph.
Yeah.
Is like, there was a tub of pins that dropped on the floor, and Steph was the one that was picking them up.
Yeah.
And some egotistical bosses would be like, pick them up.
Her dad.
There you go.
Yeah, that man.
But yeah, Stephanie returned to backstage, and obviously the photo was out there on social media. She embraced her husband, the chief content officer of WWE, Triple H, Paul Levesque. And then we moved on to the professional wrestling for the night, kicking us off in spectacular fashion. Fortunately, no broken dreams for Drew McIntyre. Well, there was broken dreams for Drew McIntyre, but he didn't come out to his old theme. He was welcomed out. We've seen some special entrances. We spoke about The Rock in the previous podcast. He came out to the Philadelphia, I can't remember the name.
Ulster Scottish band.
Yes, with the bagpipes.
And you see my reaction.
Yeah, it was the drum, wasn't it?
Yeah. I got a thing for bagpipes and drums. And you can all laugh and joke. It is... Nah, that's just amazing. And to hear that, and to be like the Ulster Scottish band as well, I don't think you could have got better. He could not have asked for a better entrance.
No.
His entrance was good.
They did a few years ago, didn't they, at WrestleMania, where they had a band with bagpipes play him to the ring.
Do we think we could see Broken Dreams, him coming out, possibly at the pay-per-view that's in Scotland at Clash of the Castle?
We've seen it for Sami Zayn when he was in Montreal for Elimination Chamber last year, where he came out to Worlds Apart, his old theme, and the crowd started singing, and it's been his theme ever since, so never say never.
I think we could see, definitely at Clash of the Castle in Scotland. It's my predictions for that are already set. Talk about that in another podcast, but I think we definitely see Broken Dreams come back.
At some point we will.
At Clash of the Castle in the Hydro Arena in Scotland.
Yes. Gave me like Highlander, that kind of, I know he's kind of played into that in the past with the sword and whatever, but definitely very much like a Highlander inspired theme to his ring walk. Moving on to the champion. going into it.
Wow.
I think we should leave this part to Adam.
Take it away.
I even posted it on my socials. I was like, is Seth coming out to a Pride event? Because the outfits they were all wearing, it felt like a Mardi Gras. And that, to me, screamed like individuality.
Yeah.
That screamed uniqueness. That screamed Seth's identity. Like, look at his outfits half the time. Just on your normal wrestling events, let alone the PLE events. And
he took it to a whole Saturday in the main event of night 1. Looked incredible.
I don't think, for me personally, he will ever beat that entrance. That's got to be one of my top 3 best entrances ever at WrestleMania.
Ever. Even, for example, Triple H when he came out a couple of years ago, and he's had some good entrances. There have been some pretty good entrances at Mania.
They do like to make it spectacular.
They bring out the stops every single year. Night 1, that, don't know what you call it. I think I messaged you, Curtis, and said it wouldn't look out of place at Cheltenham or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd see it.
The horse racing.
It wouldn't feel out of place at a Pride event or a Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And no. Going from night 1 to night 2, just with them their 2 entrances, and with the fact that Steph was there,
it kicked it off without any in-ring action.
I was sold.
Without any in-ring action, for them to just come out with Steph coming out and then Seth and Drew's entrance, it kicked off night 2 unbelievably.
Yeah.
It made up for some of the disappointment in night 1, like Triple H said in the press conference last night, that night 1 was to lead and build to night 2, and they kicked off night 2 brilliantly without any actual physical action going on in the ring.
Well, 6 seconds into the match, I think most wrestling fans thought it was over instantly.
He was up, jacket off within the first 10 seconds.
Literally, I seen the Claymore, and my jacket was like, I was like, whoa! You can't have a wrestling opening done within like 3 seconds.
I was just as I was putting my phone down. I think I just finished messaging you, and as I put my phone down, I've heard the bell go and just see him jump up, and I look up at the TV and I just see Drew's just hit Seth with Claymore.
No, and literally, and you'll be hearing me saying it that throughout this podcast. That set the night.
That 6 seconds was insane.
Yeah.
Like, I personally thought it was over.
Me too.
I thought as well it was over a few times in that match, not just at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Though, if it had been, I would have been like, "What the hell?"
If it was over then, I would have been like, "What the?" Like. But it was a fairly short match.
10 minutes considering. But then they were playing into Seth's injury. Seth wrestling for 45 minutes night 1.
Yeah.
Drew was the fresher competitor.
I personally think that they had programmed that to go longer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not expecting how injured Seth had become.
Yeah, I don't think they realised. I think I personally think the original plan, because apparently
he was selling a knee injury as well on night 1. Whether he was selling that was genuine, I don't know. But I think he was selling a knee injury night 1, going into night 2.
I don't know, because the minute Drew went at the leg, he was struggling.
Yeah,
you could see he was in pain.
I think possibly his knee. There's something gone wrong with his knee.
Yeah.
And I personally think that is an actual injury and not a work injury. But
I'm chucking this out there because I know we're only at the start of the match. I want to look at the end of the match.
Yes.
The end.
CM Punk on commentary, obviously the best in the world.
Well, no, even before we get to that part, when Drew actually won, and you've seen Seth on the...
As he was leaving the ring.
Yeah, he looked back and you could see the genuine tears in his eyes. So, I don't for 1 minute think Seth was played on this injury. I think because of the real emotions, I think the injury was real as well.
Seth said to Drew, I think you could see it.
You deserve
it.
Yeah.
I won't have the expletives that he said.
Yeah, we're not going to go word for word what was said because we get bleeped out.
Yes. But, yeah. Match over. Drew McIntyre wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
Then proceeds to climb onto the table.
Yes.
Like some possessed idiot. Like, on his knees.
On his knees crawling forward like
some panther or something.
Black Panther or something. CM Punk.
What does he want? What was he aiming to do? Try and seduce CM Punk? Look in my eyes.
Then the magic happened.
Yes. Now, for the whole of the build-up to this match at WrestleMania, Drew has been saying that Seth is too distracted with the bloodline, that whole story with The Rock and Roman. Ultimately, Drew's obsession cost him with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Now, Drew was there taunting Punk at ringside, saying all sorts of stuff, which you couldn't really hear on camera. It didn't really come across clearly as I think they would have hoped it would. Which then CM Punk, who has been injured since the Royal Rumble, Drew injured him in the Royal Rumble, that Future Shock DDT. He double leg takedowned him. Drew fell onto the table. Punk got up, took his brace off, which has been on his tricep, healing his injured tricep, and then
proceeded to hit Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
With it.
A couple of times. Yes.
And then, ding dong,
Damian Priest.
Yes. There was a great moment where Punk, because obviously Drew's wife was ringside, or Drew's partner was ringside, Punk blew her a kiss, i.e. what he did to John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. And then Damian Priest's music hit, or the Judgment Day's music hit. I think it was Alter Bridge The Other Side that played rather than Damian Priest's own individual theme. And then Punk just turns around
and laughs.
And
laughs basically.
Literally, my predictions for weeks, and I know I say in my prediction, we've all predicted near enough that Priest was going to cash in Money in the Bank.
And a lot has been said about Damian Priest not cashing in when he's had perfect opportunities where Seth has been down injured and even out with injury for so long, and he never cashed in. He's waited for his moment. I think Rhea Ripley even said you don't need to wait for the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, 10 months, I believe it was.
And he did that.
What? I can't even put into words. What a moment when that music hit.
The crowd
erupted.
Yeah.
Well, we were screaming at the TV.
It was just... It got to the point where the way Drew was reacting and stuff, that there was going to be no cash in, and Drew was going to walk out as champion.
Because they kept prolonging it.
He obviously went out the rings, went to his partner, who was ringside, then turned his head and then looked at CM Punk and then decided to be a Panther. And
because CM Punk said he wanted to main event WrestleMania, and I believe he said again on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour last Monday that the original plan was for Seth to wrestle CM Punk.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So that was supposed to be the feud.
Yeah, I've seen it on social media and all over Twitter. that
But
the original plan was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk.
I've already tweeted, and so my prediction is there. It's made for an amazing, phenomenal headline at Clash at Castle. Drew McIntyre
Yeah.
v Damian Priest,
Yeah.
and you've added this in, potentially a triple threat with CM Punk. Can you imagine that?
I could see that.
I think that would blow the roof off.
And
It would.
CM Punk in the UK.
Well, he was here in the UK last year.
Yeah.
We all know what happened there.
Yeah, that went really well.
And I honestly think, being in Scotland, I think Drew could get the title back.
I think he will.
Yeah,
in Scotland.
I think it'll be a triple threat. If all goes well, no injuries, it'll be Damian Priest going in to that match as champion.
Yeah, he'll hold it till then.
He'll hold it till then versus Drew McIntyre and the addition of CM Punk. If CM Punk doesn't wrestle in that match, I could possibly see CM Punk being a special guest referee
Maybe.
in that match as well.
Yeah. He will have some...
He'll either be commentary, special guest referee, or he'll fight in the triple threat.
Then three, somehow, some way, will be involved in the headline match.
I feel like they should do a triple threat, so then there's no disqualifications. They can have a really good match. They can use tables. They can use any weapon of their choice. They can do anything.
They're in Scotland. Like, the Scottish will come out and support McIntyre. You don't want to be out in the street. Cause
they did last night. There was a clip shared on social media of a watch party somewhere in Scotland where when Drew won, they erupted, and then Damien came out, and you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think, if it was planned, 10 out of 10 to creative.
Yeah.
Because that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That with the storyline, especially with Seth and CM Punk, behind all their personal issues outside of the WWE, Damian Priest, the cash-in was... It was unreal in a sense of the way they planned it, the way the story went, and then especially in that moment with CM Punk taking off his brace and then hitting Drew with it, and then as soon as he does that, he looks over at Drew's partner, and then Damian Priest's music hits, cashes in, and obviously has now become the new...
What I do want to do, though, and I think he was stupid for it, is the tweet Drew McIntyre done during the
Bored
match.
at work.
And then the retweet of it from him.
With the F-bomb.
Yeah. It was like...
That was tweet of the night.
Yes, it was tweet of the night.
I believe you won Social Media Star of the Year at the Slammy Awards.
Yeah.
First Slammy Awards in about a decade, which is, again, a nice welcome addition.
I just think if Drew paid more attention, if Damian Priest still cashed in, it would have been a bit more of a better match than 9 seconds.
Well, I think that's all it was going to be. We see when Money in the Bank is normally cashed in, the champion is just come off the back of a grueling match, i.e. or attack like Punk gave to Drew, and the opportunity was there for Damian Priest, and he took it. But first Puerto Rican champion since
1950s, according to the
Pedro Morales. Yes.
That's it.
Yes, so they went there for Backlash last year. Obviously, Damian Priest wrestled
With
Bad Bunny in the main event. Potentially one of the best crowds I think we've seen in a good while in WWE out there.
That was
Puerto Rico.
That was an amazing crowd. Like, that was up there with... Yeah, it was an amazing crowd. Obviously, Bad Bunny coming out. Damian Priest. The whole night was just, especially I believe Cody was on that card as well.
Wrestle Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Cody coming out his woe was good as well. Like that whole night for entrances and crowd reaction was a really good positive for WWE.
Who do we see being the first feud for Damian Priest as your new World Heavyweight Championship holder?
First feud.
Yes.
With Damian.
Do we see a Drew McIntyre rematch, or do you think Drew will focus on Punk because Punk cost him his title? I think
there's gonna be I feel like they're all gonna be quite heavily involved in it, but like, Clash of the Castle isn't until June
or July, one of them.
It's either June or July. I think it's July. I think possibly, but either way, April. I feel like they could, but do we really see them doing a 2 to 3 month storyline?
Potentially
with all three of them. I mean, it could happen. It would be epic if it did, but I feel like
my only thing is they can do this. They can do an epic storyline with Drew and CM Punk, but I'm confused where, besides Priest being the champion, how would he fit in? Because he didn't technically do anything wrong.
No. Do we see him having a retain before?
I think so.
Clash of the Castle. I feel like we're going to get one within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Or what could happen, and I know it may be too much of a build-up, but I'm going back on previous matches, like over the decades.
Back to the Attitude Era?
Even beyond that.
Oh, we've gone past the Attitude Era now.
Yeah.
For the first time.
So it could be Drew v CM Punk, number 1 contender.
Okay.
It's a double count out.
And
that brings in the triple threat.
Yeah.
That could happen.
That would then be the hook that brings Damian Priest in on it, because then he's going to be miffed.
He wouldn't have to be pinned to lose the title as well, so you could still protect him in defeat.
Just look how miffed him and Finn Balor were over this street ladder match thing when it was them six tag.
Yeah, 6-pack ladder match.
That's it.
So,
could it be unfortunate for Damian Priest?
Yeah. Who knows? But I think there's plenty of mileage now. There's plenty in terms of storyline that they can get out of this. I feel there's enough there for the next 3 to 4 months of programming, potentially all the way even to SummerSlam. If Punk is healed, when he heals, I think we could get Punk against McIntyre at SummerSlam. That's whether that's for the World Heavyweight Championship, because obviously that would come after Clash at the Castle in Scotland.
I feel like they would do that.
It's a one-on-one...
Just one-on-one...
feud.
And then possibly after that, maybe when Seth Rollins is healed, could they then go for Punk and Seth?
Yeah.
After SummerSlam?
I want to throw a spanner into the works. We mentioned it in the previous podcast review in Night 1. There's a WWE draft on the way.
Yes, there is.
Could they be split up?
Who, the Judgment Day?
No. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Could we see Punk maybe on Raw and McIntyre on SmackDown?
I think that would work. I feel like Punk would suit Raw. I think they could honestly do that.
It's all predictions, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need to become official writers for WWE, and then we'll be happy.
Yeah. Paul Levesque, what are you saying?
Are you ready?
Yeah, are you ready? Are you ready for the next podcast of wrestling to take off and start creating your shows? And doing what? You're paying the wrong people here. You're paying the wrong people.
Yes, pay us. We're happy. Mr. Levesque, we're happy to be paid in McDonald's and kebabs.
Yeah, kebabs. And free tickets to every UK show.
Yes.
No, I'll go and buy any show.
Yes,
regardless,
any show.
UK or beyond.
America, anywhere.
Moving on to match 2/3
Well, 2/3
of the night consisted of Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford taking on Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, aka the Final Testament. Before that match kicked off, we know the WrestleMania was in Philadelphia, the home of Extreme, the home of ECW. There was a special guest referee.
There was, but I was expecting more.
Ooh.
So they had a special referee, and I reckon they should have had a special enforcer, and that way the Dudley Boys would have been at ringside.
Yeah. It was in a Philadelphia street fight as well, so anything goes.
Yeah. I just think, because we know, like, Bubba was the ref, Devon was there, I think they missed a key there that they could have brought the Dudleys in on that.
That would have been epic if they brought the Dudleys into that.
That would have been good rather than just the one.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was when the Royal Rumble was in Philadelphia in 2015, Bubba Ray was there on his own without Devon.
Yeah.
So obviously
you can't. It's like you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, but then you see Bubba Ray as Bully Ray in TNA/Impact doing his own stuff there without Devon.
Yeah, but through the match, he brought out the glasses and the get the tables, which is the tagline with
Devon.
Dudley's.
Yeah. This feud has been going on, it seems like, for a while on SmackDown, even before I think Cross brought in the AOP and Paul Ellering to be alongside him. Stat that they said on commentary, which I was blown away by, that was Paul Ellering's first WrestleMania. Legendary manager, I think, with the Road Warriors, was it?
Legion of Doom,
Legion
yes.
of Doom, back in the 90s.
My era.
Your era. Very surprised that was his first WrestleMania appearance.
Yeah. But to me, that was the bottom of the matches of that day. It wasn't nothing special. And
I don't think it needed to be. I think it was more of a spot match where we, as you say, we got Diva, we got Bubba Ray even, and it was just a throwback to ECW and the extreme side of wrestling.
So it's like they had 8 minutes 35 seconds. I think that was worthy.
Okay.
I know I've been critical of in the previous podcast where people not having enough time for that match. I think they had the time, and
they did everything that they needed to do. They got in, got the spots done, and got out there with only 8 minutes and 35 seconds.
Which, to me, I was happy with.
Were you happy with the shorter match, but a few more memorable WrestleMania moments?
Yeah, I think it being 8 minutes, obviously Bubba Ray being as the special guest referee, obviously Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford with their new faction name, the Pride. I feel like that was good for them, but they could have possibly made it a bit longer. Could have maybe made it 10 minutes, say. They had an extra 2 minutes to do some stuff, but it was all right. It was they did decent.
Yeah. Surprised Karrion Kross took the pin, being kind of the spearhead of the faction.
Yeah.
Thought maybe one of the AOP would have taken the pin rather than Kross himself. Anyway, moving on to the next match of the night. And it's a feud that's gone worldwide.
Yeah.
to Perth, Australia at the Elimination Chamber. I'm obviously talking about LA Knight against AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I was about to do that. Thank you for doing it for me. But yeah, as I said, it's been going on probably since I think it's since AJ Styles returned just after Survivor Series and things like that, and it's gone international. Like I say, the Elimination Chamber, LA Knight competed in that match. AJ Styles actually took him out.
AJ Styles' house.
Yes, LA Knight was arrested in storyline. They had a fight at the media event for WrestleMania. Yeah. So, they haven't had little TV time, but for the TV time that they've had, they did really, really well to build up the story. And obviously bring in real life into this at the media event, and loads of different people were there filming it, and the amount of views they had on social media and things like that. They did well for what they were given. And
obviously they did one of the fights at WWE World event in Philadelphia with a crowd there. In like I'm guessing it was like, I think it was like a meet and greet type thing, wasn't it? Something like that. Obviously they did that fight there, but they made the amount of TV time that they had, they did well to build the storyline, build the matchup, and obviously ultimately.
I don't think though we viewed the end of this story.
No, I don't.
I'm seeing this. And in my head, all I can think of is the storyline and the issues between HBK and Bret Hart back in the late 90s.
Including the Montreal Screwjob, famously.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be a screw job, but I do feel that it's going to go back and forth for a good few months. I don't think we're going to see the end of this
there
anytime soon.
There was so much bad blood going into this in storyline that it might not be over. It might not be over. Obviously, we move on to Backlash now in France. Obviously, you're going to need, without Roman Reigns, obviously, you got the new... Oh, we'll come on to... I think I've spoiled the main event there, but you're going to need some star power, and there's no bigger star than the mega star himself. LA Knight.
LA Knight. I'm sorry.
You didn't do the most important part.
Well, I was waiting for one of you to join in.
I was waiting for you to do it.
I was waiting for you to do it because I did I did it when you was announcing the match.
There we go.
There we go.
So, do you see this being the end of the feud, or do you think?
I feel like I feel like this is gonna go on for a bit longer, and we could see a rematch.
How many rematches?
One, possibly two.
How many do you think?
I think we might see one more, and that be in France at Backlash.
I'm saying 3. Oof. I'm literally...
You saying Backlash, SummerSlam, and...
I think
Clash,
they'll do one of them on SmackDown.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, be on a TV match.
And then... maybe 2 on TV, and then do 1 at a PLE.
Yeah. Moving on to the next match of the night, social media megastar Logan Paul, obviously the United States champion. We've spoken about like AJ Styles and LA Knight kind of taking their feud and having loads of views on social media and things like that. Logan Paul's done wonders with the United States Championship. He's had it on his podcast. You're looking at me as if you're shocked by that statement.
He doesn't like Logan Paul.
In the previous podcast we mentioned about Roman Reigns, like the lack of matches and title defense.
And the lack of like actual TV time and actual SmackDown. SmackDown appearances and stuff.
Has done even less. He's a reality show star.
He's learning. He's only had about 10 matches.
Yeah.
He's not someone like Roman Reigns who has been brought up in this. He's been on the Indies. He's been in NXT. He's been
had 10 matches. I'll be generous.
Very, very good for his experience.
I'll be generous. He's had 20 matches. And there's people out there that need that push, who've spent all their lives being professional wrestlers, not Instagram idiots.
Yeah, but think of it though.
That with Logan Paul, I am putting down to money.
Yeah, but think of the eyeballs that he gets on the product. Think of the eyeballs he gets on that United States Championship. He's had on his podcast where he's had
Triple H,
who of guests on there.
Yeah,
Triple H,
millions,
Orton,
yeah,
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, over 100 million combined followers, I think, on social media. He's been, wherever he goes, he takes it with him. Like he was at the UFC a couple of weeks ago and he has it with him there.
I just feel...
He's got one of the largest sports drinks in the world.
Yeah, Prime, that... I'm not even going down there because I think it's wrong.
That'll get us banned if he starts talking about Prime.
Yeah. I just feel they're actual, real professional wrestlers within WWE who should have that push and hold that title. He's only got it because of his audience reach, that energy drink, and his money.
He is very, very good in the ring, though.
Not giving. We said this last night. He is good, and nothing is like. I remember that leap him and Ricochet done. Wow.
Yeah.
But
I think it was his third match in professional wrestling was against Roman Reigns.
He is like, they're the more deserving wrestlers who have spent their careers.
Like who? Putting you on the spot here.
Oh, no, you put me on the spot. It's like, I'm going to check out there, Finn Balor.
Okay.
He's already had the heavyweight title and then lost it because of injury. So they could give him a push. Easy, give him a push. We got both Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah.
That title would be good for them.
Jimmy's obviously on SmackDown where the United States title is as well.
Mm-hmm. So there could be a few people that could take that. It's like Kevin Owens. I think he could have done it, but I think I'm miffed more on that match because I wanted Randy to win.
Yeah.
He's not going to be around for much longer. My personal opinion.
Injury or
Age.
Okay.
And it's the one title, if I'm right, he's never won.
I believe he's won it once.
I believe he's, yes.
If he's won
might be the Intercontinental Championship he's never held.
Is just give him, like, just a clean sweep. And I would love to have had Orton win that.
I've just seen on Instagram by SK Wrestling, going back to the cash-in on night 2, the plan for Damian Priest cashing in came along shortly before it happened, and they decided there and then that Damian Priest was going to cash in the Money in the Bank.
If he didn't cash it in then, when would he cash it in?
Or
would they do a storyline of he has to cash it in the night of Money in the Bank, otherwise he loses it?
Or would he have cashed it in on Cody?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
They couldn't have done that.
They couldn't
have done that. If they did that to Cody, my lord, would there be riot over social media?
And just to clarify, we're going to talk about the Cody match very soon.
We will.
Yeah,
we will.
We will eventually. If you've seen the podcast,
I'll end up crying again.
If you've seen how long that podcast was last time.
Now, Logan Paul, we've mentioned his Prime drink. He came to the ring in a Prime truck.
Yes.
It just reminded me of like when DX turned up at WCW in their tank when they were firing stuff at the building, and that's all his like stupid cannon drink done. where someone was there with a button, pressing the pyrotechnics, making it out that he was. Sorry, I just like I don't know if anyone's sus. I got zero interest, and I'm a zero fan in Logan Paul.
Are you a fan of iShow Speed, however?
He doesn't know who he is.
I didn't have a clue.
As soon as I seen him, right, I can't say my exact words, but you can probably guess.
And my words were, "Who's that?"
Yeah, mine were very slightly different. A touching moment on that match was iShow Speed getting RKO'd by Randy Orton.
Yeah. We speak about viral moments and things like that. I think that's one of the most viral moments of the weekend.
With how big iShow Speed is with his social media platforms, his Twitch streaming, his YouTube streaming, I believe he's got over 30 million followers on Instagram alone. For him to, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people could have thought it would have been Jake Paul, KSI.
Yeah, obviously that.
Well, KSI put something up on Instagram, didn't he? That fly with the American logo.
Yeah, he put a post.
You showed me it, actually.
Yeah, he put a post up on his Instagram of him, a picture of him with the plane emoji and an American emoji. So I thought when I seen the Prime bottle, it was KSI.
Yeah, because obviously KSI at WrestleMania 39 was under the Prime suit.
Yes, and got
RKO'd. No, he didn't.
You got frog splashed off the top rope.
Because it was Logan Paul against Seth Rollins, and Seth pulled KSI onto the table.
As Logan Paul was given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan Paul retained
the United States Championship.
They were robbed.
The match went on for 17 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yes, and before that match, obviously we spoken in our previous episode that Kevin Owens was at Gorilla for Sami Zayn when he went to the ring. And Sami returned the favour.
As Kevin Owens was
going out to the ring, Sami was there.
I believe he said it's
your time now.
Your time now, go do it.
I just think that was just a brilliant moment, even though Kevin didn't win, and obviously they've been split up because Kevin Owens moved over to SmackDown, Sami stayed on Raw. Just
for now.
Just that bit of a callback, I think, was nice.
Yeah. It was like that, and a couple of moments throughout the weekend brought history of friendships.
Yeah.
And I think that is why I found WrestleMania this weekend so emotional.
Yeah. Like, obviously, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was obviously heavily involved with the bloodline. Mainly Sami. And obviously then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens took the tag titles at WrestleMania 39 off the Usos and dethroned their very long tag title reign.
I believe it was 18 months they had the tag titles for, especially the SmackDown ones.
800 to 900 days or something.
Something like that.
But yeah.
Yeah. Who's next for Logan Paul? Where does he go from here?
I've got one person in mind. So does Adam.
Yeah. Go on.
I think the same as you.
Go on.
Solo Sikoa.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I think Solo Sikoa will.
They need to put now Roman. We don't know, but now Roman may be going into hiatus and hiding for a while. Solo needs something,
and especially with like Roman saying Solo's going to be possibly the next tribal chief. I think they need to get a title on Solo Sikoa, and the United States title for Solo is.
My only thing is, if they, the way my head is thinking, if they don't put a title on him soon, AEW will put a title on him.
I don't think his contract is up for a while.
you never know, he could buy out.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
I think it all depends on the Bloodline story, on how that takes off.
Yeah, and I know Triple H said in the Night 2 press conference that Roman has a new story on the horizon that's going to blow people's minds. So there are plans for Roman. Obviously, he will take a hiatus. He will have a break. Probably won't see him until Crown Jewel SummerSlam time.
I think it may be even longer.
Potentially longer.
Because there's still questions over his leukemia.
Yeah, because he did say he's obviously on
treatment for that.
Treatment and medication. He's still on oral chemotherapy for it. Hopefully, it hasn't come back.
Hopefully.
I pray to God. Cause
I hope it hasn't, because as Triple H said, and as much as I love Cody, I believe Roman is up there with the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I can't say in my heart he's the greatest of all time, but he's one of the greatest of all time, and his title run was mind blowing. And
in this, we'll come on. We'll hold Roman chat for now. Moving on to the penultimate match of Wrestlemania Sunday and Wrestlemania itself. The winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble, Bayley, defeated former Damage Control ally Io Sky.
Rightly so.
Yes. I think that story has been building to that for a while.
Yeah.
And again, we speak about special entrances, the Egyptian themed entrance for Bayley. I think when she had the men kind of carry her down and then bow down to her feet, I think that was really, really good entrance.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I sense a but.
Yeah, that it. You was on about like the Egyptian theme. I can't. Bayley isn't Egyptian; she's American. So I couldn't work out
the connection.
That's the word I'm looking for. The connection between that theme and Bayley.
Well, it might just be for one night.
Yeah.
Because obviously she had the ring gear as well, and the entrance, like I say.
Do we see Bayley possibly, now that she's champion, going back to, not fully back to her old character, back when...
Huggy.
Yeah, back when it was the...
No, I don't think so.
Do you think she's going to stay the way she's been?
I think she'll be...
But... I do feel that even though it was a good match, and I'm pleased because there wasn't enough women's matches anyway,
cool.
I do feel that she needs to watch it back because I think Naomi's going for a belt.
Naomi?
I personally think there's a chance, and I said it yesterday, that obviously Money in the Bank is coming up.
Yes. Believe it's in Toronto this year.
I personally think Naomi is in within a shout.
Okay.
Of winning. I think they're going to get Jade Cargill to win the Royal Rumble, and they're going to have Naomi win the Money in the Bank, and that'll build her story up for quite possibly a year, again like they've done with Damien. And who knows what could happen then. We could have completely two new women's world titles. She could either go for... I think they're going to have Jade Cargill go for Rhea, and they're going to have Naomi go for either Bayley or whoever's going to be champion after Bayley.
That's obviously... We'll come on to Money in the Bank when the time arises. But, yeah, surprised Damage Control didn't interfere in the match as much as... they did, especially with it being so much of a personal feud in terms of in storyline, with obviously Bayley forming Damage Control back at SummerSlam 2022, and now for her to beat Io for the title. I think I'm very surprised, like I said, we didn't get more interference on Damage Control.
Yeah.
I do think they were told, don't go out there. I do think
They came out with Io when she made her entrance, but then they went backstage.
Yeah.
I think they've been told not to interfere.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Obviously, the draft is potentially coming up in the next month or so.
Which you're going to see them split.
Yeah. I don't see.
Well, you got the Kabuki Warriors as tag team champions, so I think they'll stay
I think
together.
they'll keep the Kabuki Warriors as champions, and they'll have that. But I think they're gonna get Dakota Kai
away from
to get them away from there, and possibly a solo run.
Okay.
Where that leads, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? That brings us on to the main event. The biggest... It did feel like the biggest match in WrestleMania
It was.
history for me.
Yeah.
Especially the modern era. We've seen main events under-deliver. I remember a couple of years ago when it was Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns for the 50 millionth time. When Roman won the second belt, the WWE Championship off Brock and things like that.
That Brock and Roman storyline got so boring, so annoying. The amount of times that they've had a match was... I'm glad that they had the unification match at WrestleMania 38.
Yeah.
I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad that Roman unified the title.
But then that booked them into a corner because then there was no main champion on Monday Night Raw. Was Roman going to appear every week on Raw with the WWE title? Exactly.
He appears like once every 3 months.
On SmackDown.
Yeah.
But he appears more than Logan Paul.
Well, you hate Logan Paul. Well,
I don't know him to hate him.
Well,
much.
But yeah, it obviously, as we mentioned in the previous episode, the result on night one meant that it was Bloodline rules going into this. Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. Cody came to the ring first, accompanied by someone who we haven't seen. Would we like to share with the group?
Well, we'll share this during when we come around to it, this match, but
Okay.
it's worth it because
it's very interesting to see what this leads to, but we will discuss it
very
as
soon.
and when appropriate. Okay.
It should be within the next 5-10 minutes, depending on how much we want.
Well, half an hour if this podcast is anything to go by.
Happy days.
But yeah, Cody Rhodes came to the ring. Cody Rater, obviously calling back to his time in All Elite Wrestling. When he got to the top of the elevator, his wife was there.
Brandy
Rhodes, who we haven't seen
that
since he returned. We've seen her in AEW. I think she wrestled in AEW. She was involved backstage there.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen her.
On
I think she
WWE.
was ringside last year at 39 when Cody lost to Roman. But she wasn't there this year when Cody... Well, she was there this year with Cody to accompany him to the ring.
That was a very magical moment.
Cody's entrance, though.
The mask and very Triple H themed.
Yeah.
It was
I could see
the mask
Penta
and
doing
like the. Obviously, it started off with not Cody's entrance music, and I don't really know what it was.
Like a prelude.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
He had that kind of thing again in AEW. That was kind of...
Yeah, so he had that, and then obviously on the Titrons and stuff, and obviously then he came up through the...
Like the flags of...
Yeah,
with the,
it was like a pirate-ish type vibe, wooden sunset type thing. Obviously then, as he rises up with the mask, Brandy comes out.
Yes.
And then the
Walks to the ring.
The adrenaline kicks in.
The adrenaline in his soul.
Yeah, kicks in.
Kicks in, indeed. It does. And then...
one of the biggest woes?
I think so. It wasn't just one of them. It was 4 or
about
5.
I think your neighbours, you.
Probably. It's the first one I had a... And then he kept doing it. I was just like, whoa.
And then a challenger in the ring, waiting for champion. Roman Reigns made his ring walk. And
with a very different theme song.
It's his theme song, but performed by a live
orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think
real final boss vibes.
Yeah, like I think. Yeah, final boss type vibes.
I know at 39 last year he had a piano play him out, and then obviously his theme kicked in.
Yeah, the thing is though, his theme kicked in. You could obviously hear his theme. It may just because it was live, but I felt like there was something different with that entrance.
Maybe something underneath him, kind of thing.
And there wasn't, because in his entrance, in the head of the table entrance, is the shield bit. There's a bit in there towards the end of his.
Oh, it's his own theme as well, because even after the Shield disbanded, he still had that theme.
There's a bit in there of the Shield.
The match, Roman made his very, very slow walk to the ring, as he normally does.
About
20 minutes.
Something like that.
And then the bell rang. The match was underway. He stood face to face with Cody Rhodes, though, for about what seemed like forever, but I think it was about 2 minutes. They were just staring at each other.
I wouldn't even say it was 2 minutes. I think it'd be about 30 seconds. But it
Probably.
It felt
It felt like 2 minutes. And then we were underway. The biggest, as we said, biggest match in WrestleMania. We know big matches. We get the Super Bowl every year, like heavyweight boxing, like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, when they fight. But this had a real major aura. I used that word in the previous one about The Rock and people like that, but this had a real aura around it. We've waited 12 months for this, ever since the main event of WrestleMania 39, when Solo Sikoa hit that Samoan spike on Cody, and Roman hit the spear, 1, 2, 3. We've been waiting for the bell to ring, for them to be one-on-one in the ring, and it was finally here.
To me, that match was WrestleMania.
That had WrestleMania written all over it. That was
let's delve into it a little bit. You had like Cody doing the spear.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had Roman doing Cody's moves, and it was all that mixed message, like back and forth, and everyone bought into it and got behind Cody.
Everyone, the reaction from WrestleMania 39 when Roman Reigns beat Cody Rhodes, the disappointment in everyone's voice and their faces was just like, what the hell has just happened?
Yeah.
And everyone, including myself, thought that Roman's title reign was over at WrestleMania 39, and I didn't see it.
Should have been.
It should have been. But obviously, the match that happened yesterday, I think I'd rather yesterday's match than WrestleMania 39.
It's like, as we know, that match, even though it was billed as Cody Rhodes v Roman Reigns, we knew it was going to be Bloodline rules. So we knew there was going to be outside interference
Of some kind.
Yeah.
But no one knew exactly what.
Who?
We all kind of gathered like the Usos are going to get involved.
Solo's
Sikoa.
The Rock.
The Rock, but there was a few we wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
We was, but we wasn't.
It started off as a
normal
traditional one-on-one match, which I was surprised about. I thought maybe The Rock might have been special. I know he said when he originally said about what Bloodline rules would be, he said maybe Solo would be the ref, The Rock would be special enforcer. So I was thinking they'd go for someone like that. The odds were really stacked against Cody rather than a straight-up one-on-one match like we got for the beginning. And then about 5 to 10 minutes in, we got Jimmy Uso. And then Jey Uso's music hit. The
And the crowd went ballistic.
It erupted when Jey came out.
And I just want to take a moment, is like when they went up the ramp and then they done the spear.
That spear.
Yeah.
There was tables there to break the fall, but there was no padding.
No.
I honestly feel that was there in the moment. No one knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And from that point, you knew this match is going to be spectacular.
Yeah. From Solo coming out, from Jimmy coming out so early into the match, and then Jey coming out, you knew there was only 2 other people that were going to come out for Roman.
Yeah.
So like you knew something or someone would rock up, and
it's like all night I was saying, you guaranteed. For me, the dream would have been Goldust.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know he was there. Dustin Rhodes, his brother.
Because of his affiliation.
Yeah, he's under contract with AEW.
One allowed at ring to get involved, which I thought was bad, because it would have been the Rhodes bloodline against
the bloodline.
That it would. So all that speculation was coming out. I know a couple of days ago, Curtis seen a picture of one of the trucks that had Brock Lesnar on there. That was just throw out there.
Could have, and especially with the rivalry Brock Lesnar and Cody had at Backlash
through to SummerSlam.
Could have Brock, and there was also rumours and stuff that Brock was removed from WWE or was no longer in WWE.
Paul Heyman mentioned it with his Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah.
And then also
he's not gone.
Which is then Triple H said in night 1 that of the press conference, Brock Lesnar isn't gone. He's just being Brock at home on holiday, which is very interesting with all the ongoing stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
But he's not officially gone.
He's not officially gone,
but
he's not officially
He hasn't been named yet, have he? It's like...
And
he's been implied, but not named.
And then... whose music comes next?
Well, next after that, we went back to a traditional wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
And then the man who cost Cody Rhodes the title 12 months ago, Solo Sikoa, came out. He hit a Samoan spike and spear combo on Cody, which Cody kicked out of, surprisingly.
And
then the man that when we last seen him in WWE lost to Solo Sikoa out at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia,
came down.
John Cena.
And the crowd
erupted.
Went wild.
Yeah. We knew we were going to get shenanigans. I think John Cena was one of the names that people had mentioned.
Yeah, it was. Cena was obviously... And also with Cena saying... Never say never of possibly turning up at WrestleMania. It was pretty obvious that Cena was
going to.
And you've just been sent...
I've just seen on Instagram again, 20 minutes ago. John Cena is filming movies until Christmas.
He's filming Peacemaker Season 2, I believe.
Possibly after he's filmed after Christmas. He possibly will come back to the WWE for his final WWE full-time run.
Title coming to Cena.
United States rivalry with Logan, maybe? Maybe United States title.
That heel run, maybe, and John Cena against Cody Rhodes?
Could be.
That's fantasy booking. But yeah, we had Cena to counteract Solo Sikoa.
And then you had the final boss come out.
The final boss, The Rock, came out.
And he was
it did erupt into chaos at one point where...
There was bodies everywhere. There was...
And then...
Cody, Roman, and then...
my second highlight moment,
where we all jumped up and was like
the Shield.
the Shield music.
Yes.
You forgot about that, didn't you?
I thought Undertaker was next.
No, it was the Shield.
Oh, you spoiled it. No.
It was the Shield, and then it was the Dead Man,
Yeah.
the Undertaker.
And you just heard the bell, and everything went
Black.
Black.
And it was just like... Holy...
Oh. Now,
Yeah.
all of it I get, but I don't understand Undertaker being there.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I get it's WrestleMania. No WrestleMania is complete without the Undertaker in one way, shape, or form. But we've spoke about Brock Lesnar, which could have been a good one to be involved. Obviously, he can't. Would Austin...
I thought we'd get Stone Cold Steve Austin. There were hints towards
And
Austin.
I want to go back to Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn.
No, if you bear with me, Kevin Owens came down in a golf cart. Kevin Owens came down in a golf cart. Last year, Stone Cold come down on his 4x4.
It was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, 2 years
WrestleMania
ago,
38 it was, yeah. It was.
And part of me was like, well, that golf buggy is either paying homage to Austin, or is it like, look at me, look what I'm driving.
Yeah.
And then, so I genuinely thought it was...
There were hints made towards it being Austin. I think we were speaking off air that when Cody was brutally attacked by The Rock in Chicago at the end of that edition of Monday Night Raw, that on the back production truck you could see John Cena and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Stone Cold put a video on social media of him mysteriously receiving beers on Easter Sunday from someone. I think Cody made reference to something shattering, obviously referring to what we thought would be referring to the shattered glass at the start of his entrance. So there were hints there towards...
Didn't you say as well, Triple H posted something on Twitter at 3:16 as well?
3:16 US time.
Yeah.
So there were hints towards it being Stone Cold.
I personally, I thought as well, when The Rock was going to do a U-turn and knock Roman out.
Well, I think that's the obvious move to do for WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
Or, if that never happened, I thought maybe a dream, a wish, a want that Paul Levesque would have come in as the game and got involved with that match.
I don't think he can for health reasons, but
which is what we discovered later on. At first, before we knew about...
Because he got pacemaker now, if I'm right.
He had a cardiac arrest, I believe, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And so... But... I am so glad... Like... There were swings and roundabouts. He's going to get it. Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, he's going to lose. Through that match, the emotion behind that match, I think is why everyone got behind.
You said about the Shield.
Yes.
The Shield music hit. I thought for a second... And I think you did as well, Curtis. It would be Seth Rollins
and Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose / John Moxley.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was just
Seth
in Shield gear. What state he was in after his match earlier on in the night, I don't know. And the night before.
I also noticed after the match that they were trying to get Seth into the ring and he couldn't get into the ring because he was struggling to get up onto the apron.
But Seth brought a steel chair with him. Now, ultimately, Roman's what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of obsession with Seth breaking up the Shield all those years ago, and that trauma that's still within Roman ultimately cost him. Because Seth knew that Roman would do this. Seth sacrificed himself for the greater good. We spoke about this kind of being like, I know there was talk on social media about this being like Endgame, and you had Cody assembling his version of the Avengers, Cena, Taker, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and yeah, Seth bit the bullet and took one for. He offered to be Cody's shield, and he was, because Roman had the steel chair in hand. He could either attack Cody with it or attack Seth with it. He chose to attack Seth with it, which allowed Cody to recover, hit 3 crossroads,
and
1, 2,
3, and ultimately become the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion.
1,316 days.
Which is just over 4 years. He won it in August
2020.
But
and lost it in
2024.
April 2024.
I just bring you both back in a sec. Is there's been a lot of chit chatter that I've seen out that how wrestling is fixed, is staged, is fake, and all this. And to a certain extent, yes, it is scripted.
Yeah.
You have to be scripted. Christ, they are putting their body on the line, and anyone who disagrees, they can go and pay for some of their medical bills. But the emotion, the passion that they all have for this sport could be seen and won by Samantha.
Yes.
When she had to attempt to call Cody Rhodes the winner.
Yes.
That in itself speaks
You could just hear the sheer emotion in her voice.
That when her trying to announce Cody Rhodes, and you could hear she was crying. That's what had me. I was there was tears rolling down my face with that, and that just shows how much support is like with after the locker room coming out. You had like Jay, you
Randy.
had Randy Orton,
Sami Zayn,
KO, CM Punk, and then
it seemed to be everyone the bloodline
I've annoyed.
Yeah.
Including
LA Knight was there as well, and
then obviously
loads of baby faces.
Cody brought out one of the
Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, that's
Bruce
it,
Pritchard and Triple
H.
And it was just like the emotion was there.
Normally, you see the match finishes. Michael Cole will thank everyone for watching.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Even
Michael Cole was
crying.
Even Michael Cole was crying. Everyone was so emotional.
The fans won.
Yeah,
we wanted Cody to win, and yeah, we wanted it. We wanted it last year at WrestleMania 39, but ultimately, I think all WWE fans now wanted to see The Rock, The Undertaker, John Cena, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Triple H,
all in one ring,
all in one building, in all one segment. That was unreal.
When Triple H and Cody kind of hugged it out, that kind of felt like solidifying Cody as the new face of the WWE.
Yeah.
We spoke about it being a new era. We'll wrap up this podcast now. We spoke about it being a new era. WrestleMania 40, billed as the biggest WrestleMania of all time. We've seen a good few championships change hands. We've seen a few long title reigns end. Cody is your new undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
Yes!
Notice at the press conference when they introduced Cody, they called him the WWE Champion rather than the undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
I think, what I personally think, and this is what I said to you off air, I personally think that they're no longer going to be calling it the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. They're going to be calling it the WWE Championship. And there's an and. I believe possibly tonight we could see on Monday Night Raw possibly a new world title for Cody.
Winged Eagle?
Winged Eagle.
Even.
Possibly debut tonight, and they're going to scrap that Roman title, which is obviously the gold and black undisputed title.
And I honestly think we're going back old school, and we're going to have a Raw champion and a SmackDown champion.
Let me guess, you also think it's going to go back to the Attitude Era?
How did you guess? 2.0.
But yeah.
How did I guess? You definitely haven't said it in these 2 podcasts that we filmed.
4 titles changed hands over the weekend. That's not including the tag team championships that were split up. We've seen Cody, obviously, as I mentioned, dethrone Roman Reigns. Bayley dethrone Io Sky. Damian Priest win the World Heavyweight Championship. And Sami Zayn beating Gunther for the Intercontinental Champion. This does feel like they've ushered in a new era.
I feel like they've obviously the 2 people that did retain was Rhea Ripley and Logan Paul, but I feel like
they got a good lineup.
They've got a good lineup for the replacements. And whether that be Jade Cargill, whether that be anyone, it could be anyone. But
Tiffany Stratton, maybe.
Tiffany Stratton as well. She's okay.
It's Tiffy time, Adam.
It's Tiffy time.
It's bedtime.
We all are running off very, very little sleep. But yeah. Just quickly before we end. Yeah, I've got.
Obviously, tonight is Raw after WrestleMania. As we record this on the Monday, did you say you had something just quickly, Curtis?
Yeah. So I've just seen on Instagram again. John Cena said that. This was what he said on the Pat McAfee show. He said he thinks he wants to retire before he's 50, but he believes he's going to retire before then. Now, he said the time to compete in the ring is coming to a close. Do you think that, obviously going back to after Christmas, possibly starting next year,
who retires him? Unless you do him against Randy Orton, both retire?
Maybe. Yeah.
But that's down the road. In the here and now, to wrap us up, tonight is Raw after WrestleMania. Anything can happen. It's probably the biggest. It is the biggest Raw in history.
18,000, I believe.
Yes.
Over 18,000
so far.
One prediction from the both of you. Curtis, you first.
Cody's going to bring a new Winged Eagle title.
Adam, you're not allowed to say Attitude Era as well.
You're banned.
No. I think Triple H is going to appear.
Okay.
And his segment is going to last for about 8 minutes because the crowd is going to be so loud and deafening for about 4 to 5 minutes. He's not going to be able to shut him up.
Okay. For me, I think we'll see the debut of Jacob Fatu in the Bloodline. Whether that would happen with The Rock or whatever, I don't know, but I think we'll see Jacob Fatu. And I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say we see the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns. I don't know whether that could happen. Also, something to throw out there, and I think we mentioned it before, Matt Hardy's contract is up with All Elite Wrestling. He's currently a free agent. He's currently in Philadelphia.
Could we see him appear at Raw?
If maybe, but who knows?
If he does, then Lord, thank you, Triple H.
Who knows? But this has been the Are You Ready podcast, as I think what this podcast is going to be called.
Are you ready for bed?
Yeah.
Are you ready for Raw after Mania?
Yes, even more lack of sleep. But thank you very much for you listening at home. We will catch you probably next Monday at the same time, same place. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, you'll never miss edition of the Are You Ready podcast. And until then, we will catch you in the next episode.
Adios.
Goodbye.